Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel. It's Friday and that means Chelsea are playing in 2 days time away at West Ham United. Either later on today or tomorrow you'll see my Chelsea-West Ham preview, probably even more eagerly anticipated than the game against Liverpool last weekend where we got the 1-1 draw. If you're not yet already aware, Shootout, my new channel with Eunice, link in the top of the description. We posted Premier League predictions, the video's blowing up, the channel's blowing up. So if you're not yet subscribed, get on the early hype train, link down below. And whilst you're at it, subscribe to this channel, hit the like button for the continued daily Chelsea news updates. It's your early morning video. Get yourself a coffee, get yourself a water. It is Friday, so if you want to go for something stronger, I totally understand. We're going to be talking today about Brennan Johnson. We're going to be talking Reece James, the captaincy and Lewis Hall. It's not great stories, so maybe you do want something stronger. And we're also going to finish by talking about Bradley Barcola, an exciting right-footed talent from Lyon, another player that we're potentially interested in from Lyon, reported by Fabrice Hawkins. But before we do get into that, I just want to say a big thank you to today's video sponsor. Football is now well and truly back underway in the Premier League and across the UK, and our friends at Paramatch UK are offering £40 in free bets. That's right, over at Paramatch UK, all you got to do is open a new account. This is for new customers only. Place a £10 bet on any footballing market with odds of even or above within the first 7 days of you joining Paramatch Online, and you guys will get yourselves £40 of free bets. Full terms and conditions apply, of course, with all the links that you need to get started in the description down below. Thank you very much to Paramatch again. Let's get back into the video. And we're back, and we begin with the news about Lewis Hall. This is from Fabrizio Romano's YouTube through the Blue Dodger on Twitter. Lewis Hall is on his way to Newcastle, and the move from Chelsea is imminent. Lewis Hall was on his way to join Crystal Palace on loan, but the Michael Olise story created a big issue between the clubs. We've already discussed the Lewis Hall sale to Newcastle United. 28 million is the updated fee. It makes it even worse than it was before. It's also rumoured that Behdad Eghbali is the one who has come in to try and speed up this process to push Lewis Hall towards Newcastle. I don't even think he needs pushing. He used to be a Newcastle fan, almost a guarantee of first-team football in the Champions League. It's obvious, but I think this could be one of the big reasons why Chelsea have missed out on the signing of Michael Olise. There are two issues here that Crystal Palace can potentially have with Chelsea. One of them is the whole tapping up of Olise story, which I thought we left that with Ashley Cole and Arsenal nearly 20 years ago now. Crystal Palace is saying that the way that Chelsea approached Olise and this deal was not right. Chelsea think there's nothing wrong with it, but in the process of that, I think we've also got to remember that Crystal Palace's animosity towards Chelsea will also probably stem from the fact that Lewis Hall's move to Palace on loan fell through when Chelsea heard of the interest from Newcastle for a potential permanent sale. At that point, Eghbali has stepped in, apparently, and he's like, well, all right, we could either send Lewis Hall on loan or get him to sign that deal quickly so that we can say to Newcastle, look, there's no bargains to be had here. However, this is where the club have gone wrong, because 28 million is a flipping bargain. The deal is reportedly imminent. It is one of the sour taste that's been created, I guess you could say, this week at Chelsea. After an incredible start to the week with Caicedo, Lavia, we thought Olise was coming. It's kind of tapered off a little bit, but we're trying to keep the energy high here, building up to the West Ham game at the weekend. But Lewis Hall is set to join Newcastle United for 28 million, which is a little bit redonkulous. And when you think about 28 million for 18-year-old Lewis Hall, in my head, this makes the reported £50 million that Nottingham Forest want for Brennan Johnson even more ridiculous. Chelsea interested in 22-year-old attacker. Talks have opened with Forest for Wales international after Michael Olise news. Now I'm hoping here we're going to talk about Bradley Barcola, the Lyon right winger, the French under-21. I think he's made his debut for the French national team too. Going to talk about him at the end of this video. I'm hoping that this is just Chelsea are kind of testing the waters here with numerous players. We've already reportedly made contact with Ajax earlier in the window about Kudus. If we want to sign him, we got to be quick. West Ham are progressing. Don't really know why you'd want to go there if there is the potential of a Chelsea move. And if not, why are Chelsea not going in for him? Especially when Brennan Johnson, Forest want 50 million quid. And there isn't any release clause here, like with Olise. 34 million for Michael Olise was a bargain in today's footballing market. 50 million for Brennan Johnson, who, as good as he is, and I say this because I enjoy watching him for Nottingham Forest. The way that Nottingham Forest play, there's a reason that Brennan Johnson gets chances and scores goals. Because what he does, very one-dimensional, makes those runs in behind the defence, runs onto the ball and then tries to finish it. And quite often Forest score a lot of their goals that way because they're forced to defend and then they're blessed to have a pacey attacker. Brennan Johnson is very quick, but finishing-wise, I don't put him in that elite category that Chelsea should be looking at if we're bolstering the forward positions and spending 50 million quid. I would rather we spent 35 million pounds on Dusan Vlahovic, try and include Lukaku in that deal, than bring in Brennan Johnson for 50 million. I think this makes no sense for Chelsea Football Club whatsoever. So like I say, I really hope this is just, we're looking at different profiles, testing the waters, seeing what's available, and from those price points being able to make a decision. And hopefully, seeing that 50 million price tag makes Chelsea look at it and be like, we can spend our money significantly better elsewhere. We move into the Reece James injury again, which now makes Ben Chilwell the active captain at Chelsea Football Club. I spoke about this in great detail in the last video regarding Reece's injury. He could be out for a few months. I've said I think maybe surgery needs to happen now. There's a lot more coming out about this with Reece James because people are upset, people are disappointed. A lot of Chelsea fans have managed to raise the idea that selling Reece James is a good idea. I've had a lot of people ask me the question, so I wanted to include my thoughts on this concept in this video. Reece has just been made the Chelsea captain. He is one of the most experienced players in the squad. I would not sell him. I think until this point, the way that Reece James manages his body has been a total mismanagement from both player and Chelsea Football Club up until now. I think this injury, which has come at the worst possible time, it's never a good time for an injury. Now he's Chelsea captain, one game played in the season with a team that can actually look and be ambitious. This is where all of the mismanagement has to end now. And Reece James needs to take control of this. And if it does mean an extra 6 weeks to 2 months on the sidelines this season for the prolonging of his career, then so be it. I've seen a few videos going around as well of when he's on England camp and him and Harry Kane are trying to do yoga and Reece James can't do it. He just can't do it. There is a lot more to being this big, stocky, strong player in football. You need to be athletic. You need to be manoeuvrable. And I think the high intensity action that the Premier League brings to Reece James's game week after week is what is seeing him suffer. So I'm hoping right now that selling him is not on the cards. I don't think Chelsea should react that way. And I think a lot of people are just upset that he's injured again. So we're saying sell, sell, sell. Should have sold him to Real Madrid. Unreal. Reece James on his day is the best right back in the world. On his day. Hard to believe right now because we're upset that he's injured again, right? I get it. Don't sell him, but just start managing it properly from today. We move into the final story of today's video. Breaking news. This comes from Fabrice Hawkins, a French journalist. Chelsea have accelerated for Bradley Barcola in the last few hours. No final green light from the player yet. Lyon already refused an offer of 35 million from PSG. So let's see where we're at with this Bradley Barcola interest. At the moment, this is just a story that Chelsea potentially want to sign the player. We've not agreed personal terms with him as of yet. However, when news like this breaks out of nowhere, as it did on Thursday afternoon, quite often that means it's one of those deals where Chelsea are looking to accelerate, as it says here with the quote in the tweet, in order to get this done as soon as possible. You have no idea really how Bradley Barcola will look at the potential of this move. Being a young player, is it going to be, he looks at another young Frenchman, Olise, who's decided for the benefit of his playing time or potentially because he couldn't really do much about it before things got messy between Palace and Chelsea, Olise decides to stay. is that going to be an additional motivation for someone like Barcola, who looks at Nkunku, further ahead of him in the French national team, Raheem Sterling, Noni Madueke? Is it going to be an issue here for Chelsea, where whoever we look to bring in the attacking areas is conscious that Nkunku's going to come back, and there are a lot of players that they're competing for? Bradley Barcola, right-footed, plays on the right wing, can also play through the middle, or additionally on the left. A really fast and exciting player who broke through in the last couple of years at Lyon. When we look at the price tag, 35 million was rejected from PSG. Chelsea do have a good relationship with Lyon, so maybe that could help Chelsea in potential negotiations, but it's a young player and it's a lot of money. You know, if 35 million was rejected, realistically, we're probably going to be looking at around 50 million euros for Bradley Barcola. Can he make that step up to the Premier League? Very exciting player, can score goals, really good with the ball at his feet, running at pace, taking players on. It's an exciting option for Chelsea. I must admit, I didn't know much about him when I saw this news drop last night, so I didn't want to just rush and make an uninformed video to you guys about it. Not really told you much about the player today. I want to do some more research and see if anything really materialises from this initial interest that Fabrice Hawkins has reported. Big Friday in store, Chelsea fans, for Chelsea Football Club. Romeo Lavia, he was in London yesterday getting his hair cut, looking fresh, probably for Chelsea media duties. And I'm expecting an announcement to be today. If you think about this Lewis Hall deal, it's getting a bad rep from Chelsea fans. It's bad PR for the club to sell an academy boy to a rival. Maybe we're waiting to announce Lavia and we want this Lewis Hall deal done so that we can kind of cover it up a little bit by announcing Lavia around the same time. So, is what it is. Not happy about the Hall departure. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below about all things Chelsea transfer news in this video. Come on, you Blues.